So, how are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing pretty good. Kyle, how are you?
Troubled in these times, I'd like to say. But
Yeah, I can tell.
we're here in the studio, so everything's a little bit more chillaxed and relaxed. And we
Yes,
always
sir.
get to talk to interesting people now once a month,
We do, yeah. Yeah, we have somebody pretty interesting today.
if you can put it that way.
We've known him for quite a few years now, I think.
I've known him and his mom. That sounds weird, but we'll get him and his mom for a very long time. So without further ado, intro our guest here.
This is Mr. Jordan Bowen.
All right, what's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Get them headphones on.
Get them headphones on. How do we sound? We sound good?
We sound
There you
good.
go, bring it
we
in.
sound great.
So, welcome to the Kelp Bed, Jordan.
Whew, it's good to be here, guys.
Man, give us a quick little intro. Tell us how you are, tell you is, and what you like to do, and what you do, and what you like with the ocean.
All right, stop, rewind, one question at a time.
Let her rip.
Let her
Who
rip,
are
potato
you?
chip.
Who
All right,
are you?
for somebody, my name's Jordan, 25 years old, in this short world.
I said intro yourself, not give us a Tinder profile. Come on, man.
Oh, come on, man. Got to do anything I can out here, right?
Brother's got to try.
Brother's got to try. No, I'm just a typical guy and loves to.
You're not typical. You're way better than that. Come on. Come on.
I'm an adventure seeker.
There you go.
I'm an adrenaline.
There it is. See?
Adrenaline junkie who
You definitely
likes
are.
to get the next thrill.
There you go.
There you go.
See?
Always searching. Always searching.
Always
That's better.
stoked.
See, now
always,
that's a good Tinder profile.
yeah. See, you come up with them on the fly. Just messing. No, you really are, though. So you really are an adventure seeker. And as long as I've known you, you've always got stoke and you've always got energy. And it's always like go, go, go with you, which is epic.
To
Like,
stay stoked, it's to keep yourself young. Like we always get wrapped up in the day-and-day activities of, yeah, I wake up, I go to work, I go home, I cook, I go to sleep, day in, day out,
Yeah.
on repeat.
yeah.
Yep.
You don't want to do that. Why would anybody want to do that? To me, a lot lately is just trying to find out what makes you happy in life.
And that's hugely important. Like, I think in today's world, especially these past few weeks, that is a lot of people aren't taking the time for themselves and aren't taking a break from the real world and getting that disconnect that we constantly bring up here. So it's really refreshing to have another voice in here who's like already just like right off the bat, like,
No,
yeah,
it's not
exactly,
even just
exactly.
trying to do a disconnect from the real world. It's, tying the real world into your other world. And your real world is your life, it's your family, it's your friends, it's your loved ones, your significant others. But also at the same time, it's what makes you happy.
Mhm.
It's to stay stoked, stay young, stay out there, be adventure seekers. So
But but do you crave that time where you just want to disconnect from that? Or are you saying like 100% of you is just full on life, or or do you never have Jordan time that you take out?
I would say you want to have like a happy medium.
Yeah, you have to have a happy medium. You have to have Jordan time. Or Nick
What?
time.
Or Kyle time.
Or
for
Kyle
that
time.
matter.
I was gonna say, I just don't get my own time now. It's everyone else's time.
So yeah, what would be the difference between my time, Nick's time, and Kyle's time? Like that would just be a little weird.
That would
Yeah.
just be a little bit strange, but so tell us a little bit more about you kind of having to do with the ocean. So
yeah,
you grew up in California. We all did. How has growing up here kind of influenced the way that you think about life and think about those concepts you were just talking about?
Well, it's hard. Like the ocean is always around us, and we always take everything for granted. We grew up in such a radical place to grow up. Honestly,
privileged.
Southern California, beautiful houses, beautiful friends, perfect 70, 75 every single day for the most part, and just right down the hill, 20 miles away, we have the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Is it 20? I feel like it's shorter than that, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, it
Yeah.
just depends where you
Yeah.
are. But
10, 15 minutes. That's the best way to think
Yeah,
about
it's in California. One thing I've noticed about California, especially SoCal in
Yeah.
particular, we measure distance in time. And
Yep.
not saying we're like time travelers or anything, but when I lived in Colorado for a short amount of time, I literally went on the freeway and I was like, hey, like, how far is it to Denver from Boulder? And they're like, oh, it's like 30, 40 miles. And I was like, that's nothing for me. How long is it going to take me to get there? How far is it? And they're like, I just told you how far it is. It's 20, 30 miles. I'm like, tell me how long it's going to take me there.
miles per hour.
Yeah. So, and I think it's funny is like,
30, 40 miles is 30, 40 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like when we say like, how long is it to the beach? Like you just did it perfectly. You're like, yeah, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It was
we
like-
even do it with longer distances.
Yeah. You're like, how long does it take to get to Vegas? We're like, oh, like 4 hours. People are like,
Yeah, 4 hours. But Kyle, let's kind of revisit your living in Colorado. Like, did you ever talk to anybody that just really wasn't in touch
In
with
tune
the
with the
ocean,
ocean? Oh,
or
yeah.
just like had like never seen it, been?
So what was hard for me about Colorado and being related to the ocean, and I think I talked about this on like episode 1, was I didn't get heavily into the ocean. I took it hugely for granted when I was in high school and like through into like middle school and before Colorado. I took it for granted. I just, it was there. I went to the beach every once in a while. I mean, yeah, I got my first speeding ticket, like driving to the beach on the last day of school. But like I really didn't go to the beach until the summer. And then once coming back from Colorado is when the first day back, I came and met with you and you were like, I need to go get a new mask. Like, let's go to Sports Chalet. I got scuba certified. And I was like, what a little, oh, you got scuba certified? Like, how cool. And then you're like,
Thank
no.
you, Nick.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So then you were like, yeah, you should get scuba certified. So we went to Sports Chalet, which ended up being my job. You asked her there, Marissa, my manager this time, you're like, hey, are you hiring? And so that's when I got into it, was one working with Sports Chalet. And then the next day home, we met Nick. You were like, well, I've been hanging out with Nick. I've had a couple classes with him. Like, this is a really cool dude. Like, let's just hang out with him. And like, now here we are. Like 8 years.
You were like, ew, who's this guy?
Oh man, this guy.
This guy's a jerk.
Like going full circle here. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like what, 8 years ago now that I met Nick. And then, so I mean, with you, we're pushing like 11, 12 years.
That makes me feel really old.
No, because you were.
Well, I mean, if you want to count like how long we've actually known each other.
Yeah. But we met and we were pretty much came best friends. And let's say it was my freshman year, your sophomore year, right?
Because it was right as I got onto varsity, and then we were like talking about bumping you up. We were talking to Georgie. And I was like, yeah, like just bring Jordan on. He's a good kid. Like I know his mom. Like I love his mom. Like, so I mean, I've known you since you were in kindergarten. Like that's how long I've known you. But like known each other is like God, that's shit. Yeah, that's 10, 11. It's pushing 12 years now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'd almost like to take credit for your guys' friendship.
Oh, 100%. I'll give you credit for that. Yeah, I mean, you literally were like, hey, come meet this kid. And we went to Nick's house.
I remember that.
I went to this stranger's house, and his parents were like, are you hungry? Do you want anything to eat? We got all this. We got all that. And I was like, yeah, anything sounds good. And they're like, well, check one of the fridges outside. I'm like,
just go for it.
I was like, one of the fridges?
Yeah, how many do you have at your house now? I think what, 3?
There's 2. Well, there's a fridge inside with a freezer, and then there's a fridge in the garage, and then there's a separate freezer in the
But
garage.
the advantage is it's all on solar.
It is all on solar.
Yeah.
Eco-friendly.
Yeah.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So I'll give you credit for our friendship and like basically being the evolution of what is now the kelp bed. So thanks for putting us through this.
Yeah, I mean,
It's been.
Just don't ever do it again, please.
Yeah, we don't need any more friends. We got all our
yeah,
friends.
like,
don't
would
need
you,
anymore.
would you go back and do it again?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely
Oh,
not,
yours- mine was
let
like-
him in the front door.
So it was like super interesting when I was, because I met Nick when I was going to college, right?
Yeah, you guys were at CI together.
Yeah, we went to high school
studying bio.
together. We knew of each other, but we weren't really.
He was a jerk in high school.
I won't deny that.
Had better days.
We all did. I mean,
Let's just say we had better days.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked
Kyle, I think
liked
you're
high
going
school.
through a phase 2 with that hair.
yeah.
I think
what
you've had-
is going
I think-
on,
I-
So-
and that I'm just super pointing it out there.
So,
Glad that stash is
no,
gone
it's-
as well.
It's been a multiple points on this podcast is hair growth on Kyle. So
Yeah.
for people on YouTube, I do have a top knot now. It is there. I have no facial hair though, so I got clean cut right now. But yes, there is a top knot. So all of you out there, if you want to see what I look like with a top knot, be sure to check us out. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Shameless plug.
Leave a
should be-
comment.
that should honestly be like a name of a movie. Top Knot.
Top Knot.
Top Knot.
I mean, they got
Top Gun.
Top Gun, and I was gonna say,
It's like a knockoff of Top Gun.
yeah,
All about Kyle's hair.
And it should just be like a slow-mo knockoff and we just cut it off.
yeah. No, it's at first I was blaming it on COVID, which it really was. I didn't want to get someone touching my head right during all these COVID times, but now it's I don't know. I've got
It's
to.
the lifestyle.
I want to grow it out while I
It's-
can, while I
it's-
have it.
I
know.
still think he should do a mullet.
We'll talk about that on a later date. How about that?
There we go.
How about that?
I like that.
Oh man. Okay, but
So bring this all back to
you, Jordan.
Yeah.
So, what are the main things you do at the ocean? Because you've talked about you live in SoCal, you're so close to the beach. You're one of the people that we go to when we talk about beaches, like as a friendship. We're like, hey, Jordan's got the knowledge on which beach to go to. Like, I contact you all the time. Like,
Honestly, it just kind of depends on the day, the weather, and what's happening. I'll check the reports, and if it's a beautiful sunny day on a weekend, if I have the day off, I'm just gonna go chill at the beach. there's nothing better. You just pull up, everybody's enjoying the beach, everybody's having a good time, and it's just like a place where it's almost like my own sanctuary.
Yeah.
I go there and it's just
Jordan time.
it turns off. Jordan time.
Sometimes there's Jordan, Kyle, and Nick time.
That's true.
And we
but-
get Steven in there too. Steven,
Yeah,
Steven's
spike
been
ball.
with us. Yeah,
Spike
that
ball.
I think we've talked about that on too. Is like, you were there, and it's so good to finally round trip this with all of us that were there. Is
Yeah.
the first day we brought him into the water. Like,
And that day was an anomaly at the beach.
oh, dude,
That was a weird day.
that thing was crazy.
We don't know what was happening. We had like a south swell come in, and the water was, probably around 70 to 72 degrees, and we were just chilling in the water for, I don't know, how long was it?
Yeah, it was a
Probably
while.
an hour and a half, 2
It was a
hours
while.
easily.
Yeah, and we weren't even cold.
Yeah,
No,
It-
it was
no
nice.
wetsuits, no nothing. I was just
And in the
sports rinse.
Pacific Ocean in SoCal, if
That's rare.
you're above Orange County, like in the Ventura area, you're wearing a wetsuit for sure,
Yeah.
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 especially in the winter.
Yeah, that was a crazy awesome day. Yeah, it was literally to the point where we were exhausted. Like Steven went in because he was so tired, and I was just like, dude, yeah, like I'm right behind you. Like that was a good time.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So mostly, what do you do in the ocean? Surfing,
You said it was
diving. You do lots of
Like
stuff.
I
but
said,
what's your
it
main
kind of all
focus?
depends. Like right now, it's lobster season.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, with my life circumstances right now, we haven't been able to get in the ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
And
we're
now
all.
I'm calling upon you two. Let's get out there. I
We're-
mean,
we're trying, man. Trust me. Once we calm down here, school, like, damn, it's
it's on. It's got to be on.
yeah, it's on.
Yep.
I think there's nothing better. Like I remember taking Nick to, one or two spots that we had.
Let's talk about the first night you guys went lobster diving
No,
at night.
let's not, because
That
I know
was
where this is going.
Hilarious.
Oh, the that one time on opener.
Yeah, on opener, when I was not dive certified at all, so I was sitting on the truck, and these guys.
This is good. This is
I think
good.
this was probably like you guys' like fifth dive, probably. Like okay, probably like 10th or 12th because you got to get cert.
Had
we
we been
do
into
the-
the islands at that point?
Yeah, we'd done quite a bit at that
But
point.
let's talk about the
think.
pristine, perfect conditions of the island compared to the coastlines that we're on. Not to mention at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we'd never done a night dive. I know for a fact that was our first night
Yeah,
dive.
uh-huh.
100%.
I remember
Did
how.
we check the swell out all that night?
No, you
I
didn't.
don't know.
No, we just took off
It
because
was such a messy night, dude. I remember because we brought you, we
Yeah.
brought my dad, and I think we brought my brother.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
look,
you
I
brought
was a-
Kyle because he
so-
wanted to bring the kayaks, right?
Right. So that was where it was all started. So we were all set up. We were ready to go. And then I remember we had to go back to the house like 2 or 3 times to
'Cause we
get
forgot
random
the oars.
stuff.
We forgot the oars.
Just to get random stuff. And I was just so over it at that point. And we were like, okay, we're still going.
yeah, when you guys were sitting on the truck getting ready, you guys were sitting there. It wasn't a panic. It was a stress in your voices of like, do I have this? Do I have that?
Yeah.
And it was still where everyone was really fresh and getting familiar with where everything went. And like you guys did a gear check, but then it was like, are you good? Okay, you got this, you got this, you got that, you got this. And whereas now we dive, it's like, and yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
like,
I would say there's definitely a learning curve for everything. And, one of the biggest things for me when I go thrill seeking and when I go adventure, I want that adrenaline rush. It's always double checking. It's always making sure you're okay with your surroundings and making sure you're able to do what your mind is telling you that you want to do.
Yeah.
So for us, we were, fairly new to scuba diving at that
Yeah.
point.
I mean,
and
relatively.
I think you were new to scuba diving, but you were comfortable with it because you had done it all during the day, and it wasn't like you didn't have an agenda for scuba at that point. Lobster was like your first
Yeah, that was
Exactly.
like, hey, we're gonna go and
do something.
we want
You have a
to-
goal.
Yeah, we
And
want to get
I
those.
think that kind of changes your mentality too, because other days you're thinking, okay, how are the swells? Like, how's the visibility? With this, your main goal was, okay,
Let's
lobster.
get a lobster. Yeah, and then I think a point to that too is like when you don't have an agenda and you're just going for a dive, you get into the water and whatever happens, you're just like, yeah, this is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
But with lobster, it's like, we're sitting there and you got to think about where's your bag, where's your card, where's your measuring, where's your everything. And then also it's like on top of that, while looking for a lobster, do I put my hand in this hole with a fucking eel or with, with shark attack? Okay. Yeah,
No. To be honest,
I
that's
think-
like always the last thing on my mind when we're down there for night dives.
yeah,
Everybody says that, but it's just
There's
not
just like an
there.
omniscient like kind of feeling when you're down there though.
it's comfortable to me.
I feel
like
like
night
I'm in a
diving.
little bubble.
Yeah, I like because
Oh, okay, so that's like totally opposite
Really?
for me.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
100%.
I love it.
yeah, it's to me it's because the only thing you have to worry about is that beam of light in front of you.
Yeah.
So for me, I like free diving over scuba diving for lobsters.
See, that's scary to me because
Yeah.
No.
I've gotten caught
I
under a
agree.
rock freediving before just with my gun, and I'm like, this is sketchy as hell. Like I couldn't even imagine.
Well, I
while
mean,
trying-
also depends on where you're diving and kind of. But you guys bring up agenda. I think that was one of our biggest fault, Nick, is we were so gun happy and we were just ready to jump on the next thing. Like, hey, we're gonna go lobster diving.
Yeah.
Let's just go do it.
Yeah. I think Kyle's talked about it before, but there was other divers that came up after we got in the water, right?
Did I tell you about who those divers were?
No.
So that night, that truck that pulled up behind you guys and those other divers that got in the water successfully and got lobsters that night ended up being my coworker at Sports Chalet later on. His name was Brian, and he used to work there before I worked there and came back part-time. And I was one day just randomly telling him the story of you guys getting wrecked.
That was me.
And it was like the year before, and he was like, yeah, we remember someone getting wrecked at Deer Creek. And I was like, no way. I was like, okay, but do you remember a truck with 2 kayaks and 2 kids in it? And he was like, yeah, 100%. We parked right behind him. I was like,
Okay, for the record, I don't think we were getting wrecked.
I don't think so either, but it
one
was
of you,
rough.
We got obliterated. Let's be honest. Come
one
on.
of you came out of the water practically gagging, and I was just like, oh my God.
Well, the hard part was that spot. It was, it was a little higher tide, which is always, preferable.
Yeah.
When you want to go diving, especially in spots, you want to have like a little bit more water over the rocks.
That beach is hard though, because there's beach diving anyway. There's not a whole lot of sand, so it's like as soon as you get off the crazy
rocks.
step down rock.
Yeah, and especially we can get into this a little bit later, but the sand has shifted a lot as of like recently. So back in the day, I don't know how many years ago that was, but yeah, we went and there was definitely shore break on that high tide.
Yeah, it was a shore break and it was a big one, and it was just a disaster.
There was no
rocks,
like
the
outbreak,
waves.
and then kind of like the rolling up and the whitewash. It just kind of all went on like the shore, and it was just
it was just rough. As soon as we got out, it was fine. I mean, the visibility wasn't great, but getting out and getting in was the issue.
Yeah,
and I think like we were saying, like that was like our first night dive,
was our
and
first
that was
night
like
dive,
first diving for lobsters. We're like, all right, let's go do this, and honestly,
it was an eye opener on a season opener.
We were out of our element.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's just say that should not have happened.
No,
I'm laughing, but I've definitely had times where like Nick and I or you and I were like had that same moment. Like,
no, absolutely, and
for sure.
Kind of going off, Kyle. I remember one time, I was in my paradise, like just at the beach and whatnot, and you were like, I think this was the time when you came home from Colorado. And
is this where you tried to get me to surf?
No. This is when you were diving like a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I was just at the beach. I was like just hanging out with some friends, and we went. And you showed up a little bit later. You're like, I want to go dive. I've had a rough day. I want to go dive. And I remember you just.
Oh yeah, by myself. Yeah.
Yeah, we were at this spot, and you kind of went out and swam out, and I'm just looking. And
I was in the water for a couple hours.
Just going and going.
Going. Yeah. I remember coming back and you guys were
swimming.
Like,
it's swimming and just keeps going farther and farther.
It's my zone, man. Like, I mean, free diving, I'm so comfortable with free diving that it's like.
So that's really interesting because you said you'd rather scuba versus free dive for lobster.
For lobster, and especially at night too. If you're doing it, night free diving to me has, I don't know, because I'm so. I don't know. I think it's because I feel more exposed with free diving, because with diving, with scuba, you've got a BC and you've got a giant ass tank, and it's like you have so much protective gear. I feel like you've got a noodle, you've got everything like that.
Yeah,
like
you have that little safety bubble.
Yeah, the safety sausage.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather have that feeling of being able to
freedom?
Being limber,
Loose
being
and
free, being just kind of like more agile.
Yeah.
Especially in the water, especially like out of an element, holding your breath underwater.
I feel like it's a lot more risky, to be honest. Free diving at night is just, to me, I feel more vulnerable.
Yeah,
not more free.
To me, I think it is because one, when you're going down, unless you have your beam of light looking straight down, and like when I free dive, I shoot straight down. I'm basically looking upside down out that way. I'm not looking down, which I guess I could just quickly adjust. But
well, how many lights are you running?
If I'm free diving, I usually only run big one Canon. I don't have a mask or anything like that. Because if you're free diving, I've had masks where I can't even wear them because you come up so fast and they'll just rip right off your face. So, and if I have a light on there, like even scuba, sometimes I used to have a light on there. 2, I don't have a light anymore because when you're looking at someone and trying to give them hand signals,
that sucks.
You're looking at them and they're like,
yeah.
Well, that comes with experience. And
yeah.
If you go diving with a buddy and you're looking straight at him, everyone's like, "Oh, dude, like, come on, get that out of my face."
Yeah.
But you obviously just turn your head, whatever side you have your light on. Like, I think I have my light on my right because my snorkel's on my left, and I just turn, and you kind of look, kind of adjacent to them, and then you give your hand signals down lower, and then you also have your like handgun. So I think having 2 lights is way better.
Yeah.
Especially because if you're going lobster diving, you always want to have a gun on your hand.
Yeah.
with your light, and then you can like scan the bottom of the topography, kind of see what you're looking for, and then when you get down there, you don't want to spook them that much, so you can drop your handgun with your light, turn that off rather, and then you can have your light just right on your head, and then just boom, go to town with 2 hands.
Yeah. No, I get that point. It's, I don't know. I think I've only free dove like at night, honestly, probably just like twice. I don't know. It's one, if I'm doing night, I'm always with someone too.
Oh, 100%.
And it's most of the time when I dive with someone, I don't have too many people that truly are just like free dive. And most people prefer to be on scuba for lobster. There's more time on the bottom to watch. So I think it's a preference too for a lot of people to scuba, just to have the bottom time, the sheer bottom time. Because if you think about it, like, I don't know, if I got a good ass fucking lobster, it's right there at the bottom. And if I have to come back to it, like, and go up and down,
it's impossible.
Yeah, I would lose it so quickly.
It's so hard.
Yeah, but
even during the day, it's hard.
Even during the day, but I feel like once you key in on what you have and what you found,
on
the bottom,
your pupils dilate. And
well, that, and I think you forget about your breath. Which either one is a good thing
and a bad thing.
Yeah, or two, it's a very scary thing. Because you're just
definitely.
I don't know. I think it's got to the point where I'm so accustomed to it, I can feel my diaphragm do the actual contractions.
Yeah.
Where I can count my contractions. Granted, obviously that changes on more or less my body either progresses or digresses, but I feel that, and I know after probably about 4 or 5 of those, it's probably about time to start thinking about going up, and then 6 or 7, it's time to go up.
See, that's interesting because I don't count. So when I'm down underwater or kind of just in the ocean, and
that's the only thing I think about is just breathing.
No, I kind of just get that out of my head.
I mean,
breathing, I think breathing for the human being comes naturally. And when you're starved for it and when you're put under circumstances and you're like, I can't breathe, then your body kind of goes into shock and it's going to do whatever it takes.
I think for a regular person, no, I'm not saying I'm like crazy, weird, and different.
Superhuman.
Yeah. I'm super Kyle. No, I'm saying for a person who's not accustomed to holding their breath more than a minute
absolutely. But for the people that, are seekers and, kind of are listening and kind of want to get another taste of like who we are and like kind of want to get into the sport of just kind of being around the ocean, free your mind.
Yeah, it's an escape.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what we're all about here.
We've talked about that before, how it's like a meditative feeling that you get when you're underwater like that,
and you only have like less than a couple fingers worth to count of things to worry about.
Yeah,
and it's where it's every day right now when I get in my car and turn on my car, it's do I got my keys, do I got my wallet, do I have my sunglasses, where am I going, how am I getting there? What's going to be there when I get there? What do I have to go back home to? It's when you're in the water like that, thinking about the only possibilities are what's in front of you and what's in your head, and that's all I worry about. So,
personally, I just wouldn't count contractions because then you get worried because at some point you're gonna hit that like. Oh,
but you have to.
I've hit 3.
You really have to though, because I don't have a really nice dive watch, so I don't have.
Right.
I don't think
you need. I honestly, I think what you just need to do is just listen and feel your body.
No, see, but that's the mental game. Is like the big breath holders. They literally will knock themselves out because they've mentally prepared so hard that these guys won't even know or think about it because they're so mentally prepared to overcome any feeling of oxygen starvation that they literally will just knock themselves out underwater. And that's more dangerous. So that's why they literally always have a watch. I've seen some guys, like the professionals, have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And they'll sit there and like they know at, let's just say, like if they're doing the deep, they know at like 5:25, start to head back up, or like 5:30, So I think that's, for me, it's like my timer.
I think it's 2 different trains of thought. I think the way you do it with counting, I think that's a little bit more of like a how far can I push myself type of counting system.
Yeah.
Whereas with you, I think it's more of like a, okay, like, I should probably go up now.
I think it's just like
it's a more relaxed version.
Okay.
I think is the.
So I think if you're diving for distance and you're diving for sport, 100%.
Or if you're trying to push yourself as far as you can.
Yeah, but when you're diving for the pure enjoyment of it,
the most of the time when we're free diving, we're not pushing ourselves as far as we can go.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the amount of times that I've actually counted it's not. I don't do it every single time, but there's definitely the time I just hopped off the beach and went in. I was just swimming around most of the time and just enjoying myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was like super scary. Like honestly, we were keeping an eye on you. You're going up and down.
You saw my fins kick and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and at some point I was like, I lost them.
Yeah, I don't even think I came with any fish. I literally came empty-handed. I think I had a couple shells. I always try to collect something. I don't know.
I always get freaked out when we're free diving. Like even in a group, it's sketchy.
Dude,
just the
Really?
I don't I just hate coming up and not seeing anybody.
oh, dude,
See,
no,
but
and I'll
that's-
scan.
No, but
I know.
that's that.
I will
See,
too.
that's where we got to get the habit out of is we have to be tandem diving.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
one up, one down, one up, one
Exactly.
down. That's what it has to be.
And I think that's where we go from more
That's
leisure
this-
diving into more actual competitive.
Not
and-
competitive. I'd
Not
say
competitive,
safe.
but
Safe.
yeah.
But I
guess-
think
guess
at
safe.
that point, when you've crested over into
from snorkeling to free diving.
from the pool to the ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
But no, I think when you crest over into from the enjoyment into, setting that schedule, hey, you're going up, you're going down, you're going up, you're going down, that's getting more into the competitive side. And that's the side that I don't like.
No, I don't see it competitive at all. I see it as like I'm watching you at your max so I can make sure you're
Yeah.
okay. I don't
But at the same time, but
see, but
Then
that's you though.
it's-
You've been competitive your whole life.
no,
It's-
I know I agree, but I just don't think that's fun for the other person. And then you're taking the fun diving
also-
aspect out of it, and the other person is just
I don't know, because you can always. I have the argument side of like you should always, for every minute you're diving, you need about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to recover.
Yeah.
So if-
I was just gonna make that point for
So
double
That's-
your
yeah.
bottom time for the surface.
to me, it's a point of where I can recover, and the only thing I have to think about is recovery and making sure his cute little butt gets back up. So,
What's up?
because I mean, we've had so many good dives. Like, there's like between all of us, like so, and it's an enjoyment when I can. All I have to worry about is your guys' safety, and I enjoy that because it's.
I really think we're kind of on the same topic, but it really is going from snorkeling to free diving. I think
as soon as you get underneath,
Yeah.
it's
Well, Grant,
what we're doing is free diving technically, but when we're out there just kind of chilling, just hanging out, we're really not free diving. We're snorkeling and holding our breath.
yeah,
To be honest, we're not pushing depths. We're not going as long as we can.
I would say we're
when we
spearfishing.
when we do that,
do.
yes, do. When
sorry,
we do
we're
that.
Finding Nemo.
He just swims down. Okay.
But when we do hit that point
Pea
in the day
42
where
Wallaby
we
Way.
do want to
Touch
push
the
those
butt.
depths, okay,
Okay, sorry. All right, here we go.
All right, go
Get it out. Get it
continue,
out.
Nick.
never mind.
No, you got it.
No,
No, but-
I think this is a really good point. And I
When
want
we do try to hit those depths and get those breath holds, that's when we get into more of like the okay, you dive first, let's make sure you get back up, and then I'll go down. You stay up, you watch me, I'll watch you. But majority of the time we're not doing that because we're not diving that deep.
No,
we're not
it's-
really pushing ourselves that much.
The deepest I've dove here was County Line, and it's at the drop off, and I hit what the dude in the boat next to us said his depth was at, his depth finder, because they were fishing for yellow. It was like 1 something, and I went down, and Ken went down and grabbed sand and brought it back up. I went down and like poked it, and I literally was like, "Oh, cool, fuck, okay, here we go." And it is like so. Seeing, and I literally there was no bottom time. It was literally up and down. There was no
110.
yeah.
Dang.
Ken hit it way more than Ken literally went down and brought me up dirt and sand.
That's scary.
And Ken was down there. So Ken, I'm props to Ken and I was like, I went down once and I was like,
Ladies and gentlemen, that's 110 feet.
it was terrifying.
That's
It was the
terrifying.
And
most-
what people don't understand is even like you got a 2-story building, you're looking at maybe 20, 25 feet.
yeah. One
Right?
story is
Yeah.
10, 15
And when
foot.
you're sitting on the bottom at that depth and you
Seeing-
pressurize at like, what are you at? Like 2, maybe 3 atmospheres
Oh,
underneath.
it's way more than
fathoms,
that.
Yeah. But when you look up at 110 feet of
Yeah, I was
water,
gonna say.
and like even in my rock climbing life too, looking at a 110-foot wall, you're kind of like, okay, it's not that bad. But like,
Because 1, you can breathe.
yeah.
That's a big one.
2,
Two,
there's
it's not-
no pressure.
It doesn't feel heavy. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was definitely the scariest. Because when I got up, I'm not gonna lie, it was super dangerous. I should not have done that. I it was very dumb of me. I did not prepare very well. I mean, I think all told, I was underwater for maybe less than 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I was pushing myself way too hard to get down. Of course, once you hit about 30 foot, I basically fell.
Yeah, you
and
sank.
one kick and I was sailing.
I love that feeling.
It's nice. It's
love that.
weightless. It's just
Yeah,
like
that's the coolest
Especially
part
with those
about it.
fins.
oh
Those
yeah,
fins make
yeah.
a big difference.
going from the plastic to the fiberglass was the best decision. And you've got carbons. Like
Carbon fibers are great.
yeah, I mean that's the next step, but I need to justify. it.
Plastics, where it's at, man. Keep those leg muscles, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean I've got the medium stiffness on the fiberglasses, and I want to go to soft like so bad.
Yeah.
It's too much for my little.
It just makes a
toothpicks.
difference when you want to get down there, and you spend a lot less energy when just
Oh, it's
kicking just to get down.
At 20 foot, 2 kicks, and I'm at the bottom
Yeah.
easily. It's And I know you're the same. I mean, you've got you've got tree trunks down there. So those little carbons, they nail it.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I do like them.
110 feet, dude.
Yeah,
It was
that's
terrifying.
sketchy, man.
It was
What?
very terrifying. And it was, so
That's
back to my
sketchy.
point is like the reason it was so terrifying is I got back up and I couldn't even talk. I definitely felt the heaviness come over the head.
Yeah.
And that
That's
shallow water.
blackout.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
I
I'll stay
didn't-
away from that.
I didn't like per terms, I didn't actually faint or pass out, but I definitely was not responsive to the point where Ken was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I sat there on the kayak, just like sitting here, like breathing and breathing and breathing. And he legit grabbed my weight belt and threw me up on the kayak. He's like, "It's time to go in."
Yeah.
And so
Good
it
call
was,
by him.
It could have been a lot of adrenaline too.
it
to
was
be honest.
probably was because when I got to the top, I was sitting there and I could hear myself and I was
Yeah.
going,
Because I mean,
Yeah.
if it really was only 2.5 minutes, you've done longer than that.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not pushing yourself at 2.5 minutes. But
it was a
to
psychological.
be at the bottom and look up at 110 feet of water, yeah,
because it was
that's adrenaline.
because I was
Yeah.
I was
That's
told
straight up.
we were told by the boat how deep it was, and that's when Ken. Here's the competitive side of it. Ken was like, "Oh, I could do that," and I was like, and then the problem is he said, "Why don't you try?" And I was,
So we all have a little competitiveness. In
So you
every
knew
one
it
of
was
us.
110 before you went.
yeah, I knew it was 100
it.
something. Like
Got
I don't
it.
know if it was definitely over 100, but it wasn't like
Dang.
crazy. It wasn't so.
Hold on, Nick, what does Dory say? Just keep
Win.
swimming.
Okay, just keep swimming. I
That's-
mean, on the
it-
way up, that's all you can
It
do.
felt like
man.
it, yeah. I mean, on the way down, I was like literally thinking like, this is so cool. This is so cool. And then once I hit about that 50 foot where I just started sailing down, I was like, this is scary. This is scary. This is
Yeah.
scary. But
Okay,
'Cause
so
you
then
really
what?
get moving.
So, no, let's think about this. What was going through your head? You know, at that point, because you just said, "Hey, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. Hey, this is scary. This is scary. This is
the swim back up,
this is really scary."
the swim
now.
back up.
Yeah.
It was
So
because
getting down was fine.
getting down, probably say 3/4 of the way was fine. Once I started to see the bottom, because I knew how deep it was, which you should always know, yes. But it was, I don't know, it was a very psychological thing because it had beat my depth record by like 3 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so it was like a huge milestone for me. And one being the competitive side of me, we know I'm competitive, but it's like seeing Ken already pull up sand and he was like, "Yeah, I did it." And the guys on the boats were like, "Whoa, like you just did that."
Sick.
So I was
I
like,
want to be that guy.
and then, yeah. So then Ken was like, "You could do it." And I was just like,
Ah.
and so
No thanks,
that's
man.
where it pushed me. And
And
it's,
like I said, like even being an adrenaline sinker, you have to know your limits.
Did you ever consider taking your weight belt off on your way up? Were you struggling that much?
Ooh, interesting.
see,
yeah.
I didn't even think about it because I was pushing myself so hard. I was just,
I've
I
heard
got
And
that.
this goes.
I've
This
heard
goes
that
back.
before.
This goes back to all the training and what you're
Yeah.
doing, and like on the
we're
first.
told to do it, but until you've done it multiple times,
times,
it's
yeah.
not muscle memory. And until it's muscle memory, you won't think to do it.
I've
And
heard that
that's-
from other people where they were struggling to get to the surface and touching and taking off their weight belt wasn't even on their mind.
Yeah.
No,
was
it's
the
just
last thing on
literally,
their
I'm
mind.
gonna scrap. I'm gonna keep swimming. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go up.
Yeah.
See,
Interesting.
with scuba, I feel way more comfortable dropping my weight pouches because I've trained for it in rescue and in the few, dive masters that I did. So it was like, it was a thing. And I had seen people do it. Like I had seen open water people freak the frick out and like actually go and try and do it.
Yeah.
So, and I had to go and retrieve those weight pouches, and coming up with 3 times the amount of weight is like the hardest thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's to me, like we said, muscle memory, like, and my BC is like, I can touch and feel anything on it, just like the console of your car at this point, and know where it is. You put me in another BC. That's like, I don't know if you put me in your
It's like
back
driving
plate.
another car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
you can quickly find it, but it's going to take a second. So
I think it's different too when you know you have oxygen on your back.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
know
but
you
it's a-
you know
there's
you
that-
have a little bit of time.
You have a little bit of time, but it's that sketchy feeling of like this thing could pop
Yeah.
at any second. My
Yeah.
O-ring can blow. My
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
connection
for
could
sure.
suck.
yeah.
For
My
sure.
octopus could just have a really quick leak. I could hit a rock. Something
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
happen.
Well, one thing you should know is like even working in the scuba department and repairing a lot of that stuff and working on it, that stuff I mean, I had a tank with a full octo on it and the valve open and loaded and it fell off the tailgate of his truck and it, it popped off. It didn't send anything spinning because the BC was attached to it, and I put it right back on and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I checked the valve. I freaked out a little bit because
That
I
was
was like,
so scary.
yeah,
I wouldn't.
we
Watching
still,
that
no
thing
way.
fall was just like,
and
oh.
we still dove though. I mean, I think I only lost like 100 pounds. So it was just like, I mean,
yeah, the regulator popped off.
Kyle,
but
you only
the
weigh
tank
like
didn't
130
explode.
soaking wet.
I weigh 150 now. Thank you.
Sorry.
Not considering what
He's been working out.
I haven't actually. It's been way too busy. I wish. I mean, the rack is, just over in the garage. So
But no, I think that's an interesting question, Nick, when you say like, oh, even think about your weight.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, and that right
That
there
goes-
shows you training,
And
100%.
you know what it is? It
Yeah.
just shows your experience
Mhm.
and it shows you your knowledge. And I think that's one of the biggest things is people hop in the ocean and they don't understand the full force of what it can bring.
Yeah,
I think, yes, to that point, the full force, but I think also a lot of people don't understand what it can provide for them. And I think,
yeah. I think people get freaked out about the wrong things.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we've,
True.
you know, I bring this up constantly and it's really cool. Actually, I had someone actually shoot me a message the other day and we're like, hey, I listened to a couple of your episodes and like, I've never swam in the ocean and I just sit on the beach, but I've gotten in the water because of your podcast. And I can't make this up. Like I have the chills thinking about it right now.
Ooh, look at
Nice.
those. Look at
So-
those. Damn.
because-
No, so
Dang.
you're making a difference.
Yeah,
And
so
like,
someone came up to and literally messaged me and was like, "Hey, like I listened
like,
to your
thank you.
podcast."
Like,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
they legit did, and I was like, I still got them going. Like it's
Woo.
That's cool.
I didn't. I just said thank you. Like that's all I wanted to hear. Like,
Yep.
and then I was like, "Do you want to go diving? Like, do you want to learn how to dive?"
Want to take the next step?
Yeah,
go.
so
Let's go.
and that's what I love doing, and I think that's the future that I'm seeking is being a teacher. And that's when I bring out Steven, and it's like I love bringing him in the water, and I love introducing people in the water, and I don't like being but it's my zone, so I like people bringing people into it. I don't like showing it off.
Yeah.
I don't like
No, you can't because what you're going to do is you're going to force them.
yeah,
And it's kind of what the story with you and Ken. It's like, hey, like you kind of almost felt forced, like you had to do it.
yeah,
And then you're pushed out of your element. And as soon as you get pushed out of your element and you don't like it, you're going to be hard to get back in the second time.
Exactly.
yeah,
And that's not what we're about. We are adventure seekers. We want to be in the ocean as much as possible, be around it, feel like what it provides for us
Yeah.
and what it does to us mentally and physically, where, you know, we get such fulfillment out of it that like, that's all we want to do is we want to just, hey, like, come along.
yeah.
Let me just
Yeah.
show you like what I'm all about, what I get out of this. And if that person is not willing to come back again because you either did something or they didn't like it or, you know, for whatever reason, if the circumstances weren't like all in a line, then
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that happens a lot with scuba classes too.
Yeah,
I
it's-
think
they just have, they
the
have
non-
bad experiences. Like when I got
Yeah.
certified, like the kid just, he wasn't ready. And it wasn't to say that he didn't like it. It just, this kid was probably 100 pounds and you're throwing a BCD, a tank, weights.
yeah, you're throwing easily 60 pounds on him.
Yeah, he just
And-
felt like uncomfortable out of his
Yeah.
zone.
You get a lot of those parents that are like, okay, well, we're going to go on a vacation, so you need to go get scuba certified.
Yeah, we've done it for. Yeah.
It's honestly, it's not even when I was auditing classes. It wasn't even the parents who were like telling the kids. It was like the kids telling the parents, which I loved.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
That's
a lot.
cool.
It's a primal feeling to throw adults who are older than you
Wow.
out of their element and see them struggle because you're like, you see your parents every day and everything seems honky dory up until you get older when they finally like actually talk to you.
Yeah.
But you always see them and everything's honky dory and everything's fine. And then when you see that primal fear instill into an adult, it's empowering. I hate to say it, but like when I was auditing classes and I was telling adults, and even to this day, like now working and having adults, you know, work, I'm their supervisor. It's
Yeah.
but in the water and knowing what to do, it really humbles them. And I saw a lot of them not so much be like shocked and everything, but their eyes really opened up. And like after the first few times where I showed them what to do and exactly how to do it, and it instilled in them, and they did it themselves, and they saw the reaction to their action, they were like, all right, this 20-year-old kid knows what he's talking about, so I'm going to listen to him, you know? So
But at what point do you think that's going to translate over, like, 100%? So let's just say you're teaching a class in a pool.
Mhm.
Everything's pretty much controlled.
Yeah.
All the variables.
Pretty much.
For the most part, you're
the only thing that isn't controlled, in my opinion, is the attitude of that person, because I can't 100% control that. I can do everything in my power to make them
Yeah.
feel comfortable and positive.
But the deepest you're going to go, let's just say 20 feet.
If you're at sports day, it was 16.
You'll get people who don't want to learn.
No,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. But so let's just say they see that, they see the enjoyment of it, and they're like, all right, yeah, we are going on vacation. We're going to go scuba diving.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. We want to take super sweet videos, GoPros or whatnot.
That was,
nowadays.
I can't tell you how many GoPros I had to tell people to put away.
And now,
During the classes.
Oh my God. People, I had literally had guys
So-
like buy string and rope and try and tie it to themselves because they didn't want to lose it. And I'm like, you're just going to kill yourself. You realize
so flash forward like
that? Sorry.
3 months when they're on vacation now, and they've done,
They'll just
No.
get their cert.
no, let's just say 3 pool dives and a beach dive.
Well, you have to have a certain amount. You have your 2 open water and your 2 beach.
Yeah.
And then if there's any more, I don't forget what it is for Patty anymore. It's
Oh,
been,
I think I just did. What I think I did.
you should have done a boat. You should have done open water
Yeah.
down to 60 foot.
Yeah. So no,
Beach,
yeah. So
open
so
water.
beach, open water, and then 2 pool dives.
Yeah, I think that was it. Because it
That
was 2
it.
weekends.
That's honestly it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys did it. Okay. Sportsly might have been just, different entities might do it a different way.
No, yeah, absolutely. But I think that at this, when you're putting yourself at risk and you're putting yourself in danger, because you typically are at danger when you're
Oh yeah,
diving.
100%. And to a lot of people, that's humbling in itself, and they adapt very quickly to that thought of like,
So adaptation. Fast forward 3 months, they're on vacation. What do you think they
they
recall from
they
that pool
get-
session with
I
that
can-
20-year-old that's trying to teach them everything?
I'll bet you $100 they get on that boat and they think
Shit.
their poo don't stink.
Yep.
And they get on there, and then
Mhm.
sure enough, they've got people that are been doing these boat dives for 20 years, who probably don't even wear anything other than a tank and a back plate,
yeah.
and they just absolutely put them in their place.
Yep.
I hate to say it as like a auditor of a class. I wasn't the teacher, an instructor, but I was part of it, right? I would hope that they follow everything we did and acknowledge it, but they don't. It's unfortunate. But the thing is they have so many other people that are looking over them. When you
Yeah,
go on
yeah.
vacation spots like that, to like Cabo and stuff like that, they have so many people in the water. It's unbelievable.
I mean, they didn't do that in Thailand.
Oh, Thailand's
Some
a foreign
places are
country.
a little bit different.
True. Very
Yeah.
true.
most like high-end vacation places will have a lot of people who
And
aren't even
nice.
certified, who are getting like vacation certified.
And nice boats. Oh
Yeah.
man, I mean, we're privileged to live in a place where we have a lot of dive boats around us. There's only like maybe 2
that are like nice.
I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is nice.
Yeah,
And then some of them
yeah.
I'm like, oh, am I on a fishing charter or am I diving? Like,
Yeah. The hard part is
True.
it's where you go out of.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's getting out there is
Yeah.
the main thing, is getting underwater
Yeah.
and getting in the
definitely.
water. I mean, it's
It's
just,
just honestly just getting in the water.
I mean,
That's,
it's-
that's all it ever is. You have a bad day, like I know for the longest time, Kyle, like maybe circumstances are a little bit different now because, life,
adulting.
adulting, absolutely, 100%, I can agree with that. But
You guys would call or text me to be like, hey, sorry, I'm in the water. Like, I would be out by myself.
when you have a bad day and, I kind of go through spells of where I'll, go surfing if the swell is good, or I'll go diving when I've got the bug and I'm just hooked
Mhm.
on it. But I think far and few between, we just get away from it.
Yeah.
We get away from it and we just start our daily routine.
Mhm.
And that's fine. That's great if you're happy and doing whatever, but
Yeah, it's a tough thing to keep yourself going back to it for some reason. It's like it's so easy to fall into a routine of just everyday life that pulling yourself out of that is just at least for me, it's tough.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I think that goes back to the main point is we take it for granted. We take it for granted.
Definitely.
So we always think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always going to be there.
100%.
So,
and I
and
think everybody can attest to this, is like when you see those car commercials and you got PCH
Yeah.
right there.
Just
You're like,
that road,
dude, that's my backyard.
Yeah,
honestly, that is like
Which
my
is weird.
backyard.
it's hilarious that road is like minutes from us.
Yeah.
It's
And-
and same with Mulholland. Like Mulholland's a huge road, but like the ones they film it always on, they're like, we get people that visit from Texas, and I take them on that road, and they're like, whoa,
This is
I'm
sweet.
on
This looks-
TV.
yeah, this looks so familiar. Yeah, exactly. So
But no, freediving definitely is a very interesting kind of sport realm for me.
yeah, but you're
Yeah.
mainly surfing, and you've taken me surfing. I brought this up the one time.
Yeah, he's taking me surfing too.
Sorry.
No, I mean obviously, but
I'll say sorry. I know both experiences. Sorry.
no, I mean, well, my favorite,
Kyle was up north, Nick was down south, and I left them both. So
Yeah,
He's a
so-
great teacher. He just
Yeah.
kind of lets you go for it.
yeah, he's
Well, I mean, at some point you can do as much as you can, and as a teacher, especially for surfing, there's a lot of hands-on,
Yeah.
but there's also a lot of watching that. You
Yeah.
know, as a teacher, you have to look for.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I think you handed me a surfboard and
Said go for it.
said go for it.
Oh, he did.
So
the same
that
thing
was
to
a
me.
lot of hands-on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
I
So
mean,
show me how to get in the wetsuit,
Dude, I helped you put that wetsuit on.
and
He
then
had to show you how
gave
to
me
put
the
a wetsuit on?
surfboard. It was like early on. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it
This was probably
Got it.
dipping
and
his
the thing,
toes in the water.
the thing was like
Got
missing knees. It was like I did the thing. I don't even.
that
know.
was my old Quicksilver wetsuit. That
don't
was
even
sweet.
think-
That was a hand-me-down. That was 2-time hand-me-down.
yeah. And the one that I remember
Fit you like a glove.
no, it fit me more like I don't even know, like a plastic bag. The one time that I remember that was great that I got the teaching from was Randos. I mean, we were out there. I think we were like God, I don't even know.
Super early in the morning.
Super early in the morning. And he took me on the foam board and I got smashed. So I sat on the rocks for like a half an hour. And then finally the guys around Jordan saw me get just whomped
Rack.
on this board and saw me sitting on shore for a super long time. And these guys, and meanwhile, Jordan's just doing his thing. And these guys were like, come on, like, get out here, man. Like, don't even. And I was like, no, like, I can't ride the board. Like, he's like, just get in the water. Just get in the water. And then so I was out there and Jordan's like, whoa, you're out here? And the guys were like showing me how to body surf and all this. And Jordan's just like, oh, cool. Hey, good to see you. yeah.
Yeah, that was not a good time.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
Nah, I mean,
You just enjoy surfing. It's tough
Yeah.
for you to step away from good waves to teach somebody else how to surf.
no,
It's
it
fair.
is, but
It's fair.
we just got to bring people in. That's what it's all about. And
Yeah.
with those guys that came out and pulled you back in, there's
See, that's,
nowadays,
is rare.
it's very rare.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you just don't see people going out of their way to bring
No.
that person out because, hey, you're crowding my lineup. You're sitting on my peak.
Yeah.
I want to surf with my 2 other good buddies, and I want to have this peak. I want to have all the waves to myself.
What's a peak?
Nick?
I don't
There's a
surf.
reason he looked at me and then looked at you. We're divers.
For the listeners, they did look at each other. So
Yeah, we did.
no, a peak is kind of
Is it like the peak of a mountain?
I can imagine it's like where the waves start to form.
Yeah.
the wave starts to form. So
Yeah.
most of them are beach breaks. So it's
Okay.
sand bottom unless you go to the points.
See, all I worry about is the backside and the front side, and that's all we worry about as divers is when and how far and long out they're going.
Well then,
Yeah.
We don't.
Little-
We don't worry about the size because it's just like we just worry about timing.
no,
I
but
mean-
but it's true. But I think for diving, you have to also worry about the swell.
Especially at
No,
night.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like you just worry about the timing. Like, I mean, yeah, you look at the size of the waves before you go in, but like once you're in, right? Like for me, I don't know. I time it. That's all I do, right? And I watch the backside when I'm out and see it, and I try to use them to bring me in because I'm.
That's Cal. You're talking about when you're going in and out of the water, like
Yeah, that's all I do. I don't sit in the waves.
no.
So
I
that's
know.
why I asked, what's a peak? Like,
So
so tell me.
most of the beaches are beach breaks out here. So Cal, unless you're going to the points, there's not many. What are you laughing at?
Most of the beaches are beach breaks out here. Unless there's
I
a
mean,
difference.
that makes
Am I
perfect sense.
purple?
Purple sense.
Purple
Okay. Sorry. Go on.
beach breaks, beaches.
What
With beach
is there any
breaks.
other types of breaks? I think was his question.
Yeah, you got point breaks, reef breaks.
That's a wonderful movie.
Point break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good movie. I like it.
I didn't like
No,
the remake.
So anyway, the way the bottom topography is, and different swells bring different directions, and they push a lot of sand. So when the sandbar kind of fills in, the waves break at different spots.
Right. Yeah. Because it'll
Okay.
push the water higher at that point. Yeah.
It push the water higher, and the waves break at half their height.
Okay.
So if you have more sand in one spot that's higher up,
Mm-hmm.
even with the swell coming in, and you think of it just like a line, and when a line hits like a point,
Mm-hmm.
if that point's higher up, that's when it's going to start to fold.
Got
That's
it.
when the break is.
That's your peak.
That's your peak.
Oh.
So
okay.
if you go up and down the beach, you kind of see where it's super shallow and it's going to break a little deeper out.
Interesting.
Next person to go to the beach with me, you better expect me to point out every peak there is because I will.
You're like, yo, check out that peak. So when you see when you see a break, let's just pick county line. You have the point break, which is a bunch of rocks.
Yeah.
At the point.
Yeah.
But if you go down a little bit south, you can have a little bit more of a beach break, and you have a little.
Talking about staircase?
No, county.
Yeah. Oh, I always
Like-
get south and because it's always
Yeah.
weird how we're.
So if you
Yeah.
go to the point at county, or if you just go like a little bit south,
I
you
forget
have
we're in a curve.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a curve. You have, probably 2 breaks on the beach side, and then you have the point, and then if you go a little bit north, sometimes that breaks. It just all depends on the swell direction, honestly.
Yeah.
And all depends on what time of year it is. Like right now, it's really interesting because I go surfing, whenever the swells are good, and a lot of this, like the secret spots, haven't been breaking for, a long, long time. Like I remember this one spot we hit with a combo swell coming out of the north and the swouth.
I was just like, oh, swath. I thought it was a term because I'm learning, right? And I heard peaks, I was like,
No,
okay. And then I
it's
heard
co-
swath, I was like, south, swell, mouth, swath. I was
So
thinking, I'm like,
it was coming out of the north and it was coming out of the south, and they comboed, and that's really nice because it kind of jackknifes. And when that happens, you get this really nice. And if all conditions are, favorable, you hit really, really good waves, and you're kind of just A-frame.
Hmm.
In an A-frame, you split the peak.
Right, and it goes out both ways.
And it goes out both ways.
See.
Hey, there you go.
Connecting them
You got
dots.
that pipeline.
Yeah. See, it's always interesting to hear different points of view of the beach because it's like, oh, we're divers, so
Yeah.
and you swimmers, so we avoid the waves necessarily as all costs. So it's that's why I'm just like enamored right now and with those swouths.
With a lot of the swells. So this one swell came in, and it really reshaped a lot because after Hurricane Marie in 2014.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that big swell, Hurricane Marie.
If only
I
we
think it was
had
6
someone in
years
the
ago. It was
background to fact check us.
2014. That big south swell when you were getting a lot of lefts up in Santa Barbara, and Santa Barbara is preferably known for its rights. That wrecked the bottom.
Got it.
That was a big swell, and it absolutely wrecked the bottom of the ocean.
Interesting.
And it pushed a lot of sand in places where it's never been before, and it's taken a long time to get it back. This one spot that I surf all the time just because it's super close, and I love a punchy, peaky wave rather than just surfing with a bunch of kooks.
Okay, we got a new term here.
Punchy?
What's punchy?
Punchy?
Yeah.
Fast?
Just fast. Like,
okay. Well,
fast, hardy, just kind of like whoop.
I thought. Well, I mean,
Instead of just like laying back, chilling.
Yeah.
It's quick.
I hear punchy and I think of getting hit.
No, punchy.
It's like
punchy's like fast,
Yeah.
It's
really-
like quick and abrupt.
yeah,
Yeah.
really steep,
Okay.
kind of like throaty, heavy.
Okay, we got another new term. Here.
Oh my gosh. We're
Sorry.
going to need a list.
Just started notepad.
Like when you think about it, like when you throw and you get a little deeper and deeper. Right?
Oh, it starts
just
to.
it sucks.
It got it.
Just
Okay.
sucks, and it just kind of breathes in on itself, and like the bottom pulls down in, and it just wraps up. So it kind of like sucks. It gets all throaty and heavy, and then it gets super fast.
Makes it nice and punchy.
Nice and punchy.
Got it.
Makes
So-
that peak real nice.
Interesting.
So after the hurricane came through and pushed it all out, this is 2020, the first year that my spots actually had sand back on it.
So you're just amped right
So
now.
it took like 6 years for that to get back to where it was?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Really
It's-
It
impressive.
takes a while.
But if you think about it,
It's a huge resilience point of the ocean and beaches, but it's like, I don't know. I look at things like that and I just compare.
you just kind of think that the ocean's gonna do what it's gonna do, but at some point
Sometimes-
it's gonna push itself back to norm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but I look at how much the impact of us, not us humans. When I say us, is like how much we're doing and how much that ocean can push back and how much she's willing to.
Oh, she's definitely willing to.
She's willing to, but I don't know if she has the ability to. Like in some cases, I hope she does, and I believe she does.
Like in the future,
Like rising water levels?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a way to push back.
colder temperatures.
Okay.
Warmer
Yeah, but I'm
temperatures?
saying like
Warmer
is how much crap we're putting into this thing. You know?
No, definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
that's scary as well. I mean, you look at, all these like pristine beaches, like, the South Pacific and all these like super warm beaches.
Yeah.
Tahiti, and they got like,
Yeah.
they call it like, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to have the correct name for that, but they have like garbage waves. They literally have
Yeah.
really,
Yeah. I've seen them in
really nice waves.
Bali,
Bali,
Indonesia.
yeah, absolutely.
It's like these things are just literally
Just
it's
caked.
you don't see water. It just looks like
It's just
sprinkled.
trash?
yeah, it just looks like
it's sprinkled.
it looks
Really?
You take water and you just grind pepper in it,
Ooh,
and you create a wave.
yeah.
And you
it's-
would just see all the pepper flakes and just think of that as trash.
Yeah.
weird.
Mhm.
That's sad.
yeah, there's beaches on it too. I think yeah.
Yeah, there's a really famous like surfing magazine cover of this guy surfing and he's getting barreled, and all you see, you typically in a
I think I
barrel.
remember watching something and he was worried about getting like infections and getting
Yeah.
sick and like there's so
Normally
much
in a barrel, you're like seeing this pristine, nice blue, green, like turquoisey water that's see through, and all
Yeah.
you saw was trash,
garbage. Yeah.
which is sad.
Yeah.
I saw
it's-
I saw a picture the other day, and this little girl was like a meme on social media, and this little girl was just holding a cardboard sign, and it just said, "Humans just think it's one straw."
Yeah, and it's a huge point. Like I brought it up with the with the
Give me
masks.
goosebumps.
with the masks, it's people think, they don't when they go to pick up trash off the ground, they think, "Oh, what's my one piece going to do?" You know?
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
problem is there's so many people on the earth that we're finding out if we all do it, billions of us, then that's billions of pieces that are now floating around.
Yep.
All right, well, if you think about billions, but let's go back to resurfacing you in Colorado. How many people are actually in contact with the ocean?
And worried about the ocean. No, I mean,
not that many.
it was actually really interesting that you bring that up. In Boulder, being the very eco-friendly community, I guess, or town that it is, a lot of people are in tune with Mother Nature and being in tune with eco-friendly and, recycling and, taking measures for that. But you go down to Denver and it's all that's out the door, but it's also, they're very conscious about the materials, the physical things that they have contact with. And this was always the joke in Boulder. And it was always they're the environmentalists driving their Land Rovers because the money is there in Boulder, which it's fine. I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is the only things that they worry about are the things that they have immediate touch and contact with.
Yeah.
And I think that's more to your point is, maybe they don't have that connection that I thought they did.
So you take billions of people, what the Earth has and capacity that we're at, and then you kind of shrink it down to the people that are in close contact with the Earth.
Yeah.
And the close contact with the waves, close contact with the beaches,
Yeah.
close contact with life itself and what it's presenting, what it's bringing to. Like when I went to Thailand, dude, it was a trip to me because you come from Southern California and you go to a third world country, and just to see the ocean somewhere else and what it's giving them, it's totally different than what it's giving us.
Yeah.
We give it us as like, oh, dude, a vacation, a weekend, a day off.
Yeah.
I'm going to go chill, or I'm going to go dive or surf or do whatever.
Yeah.
For them, the ocean's life.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't even.
A lot of places.
Yeah. They rely on every bit of it. And I think that's the message that we're coming across. And that's what we're trying to put out there and trying to feed that gap between the ocean and people who don't have that contact is we're trying to be that here on the Kelp. And I think that's a wonderful point to end on here is like, that is what we're all about here. And like, we just tied that all in like beautifully here at the end. Like, that's what we're about here. And like Jordan just brought it in like beautifully at that point right here at the end. So, I mean.
Yeah. I think people need to start realizing that.
Yeah.
I really hope they do.
Yeah.
The ocean is life. And, for us that we get so, grateful and so used to having it just be right there as just like a pleasure point for us.
Exactly.
Like, cool. We get to go use it, but, that's just like a vacation or a weekend or a day, or we can do whatever. But for everywhere else around the world, that's life for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's us that we're taking it for granted that is ruining it for them.
Yep.
And that's hard because it's going to come full circle one day.
Oh, yeah. We're already seeing it full circle. So,
Unfortunately.
sweet.
But
I mean,
Thanks for
being here, man. Yeah.
It's been an hour, man.
We could talk forever.
I know.
That's beautiful, right? All right, brother. Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for bringing your insight. Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, we'll definitely, we're hoping to have a lot of people on here, but I don't think it's a bad thing to say we might have reoccurring people on here. So,
no.
awesome.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have
Definitely
repeats. I think we have plenty to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. We still didn't hit all the points that I wanted to bring up.
Right on.
Hey, until next time, the Kelphead. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah,
Appreciate
take it easy, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
See you in 2 weeks.